Paul, it's time to add a blindfold.
Blindfolded.
That's what I have to do.
You climb the mountain high.
The WNBA believed it possessed a clear roadmap, a meticulously crafted strategy designed for steady growth, a polished vision for its evolving future. Then Caitlin Clark didn't just arrive, she erupted onto the scene, and in an instant, the entire well-laid script was not merely flipped, but torn apart and explosively rewritten in real time by a rookie phenomenon whose every dribble, every shot, every offhand comment sparked a fervent national conversation. This whirlwind of unprecedented attention and immediate impact culminated in a series of highly scrutinized events, including one truly monumental decision that left millions utterly baffled, angry, and urgently asking, what genuinely unfolded behind the carefully managed facade of Caitlin Clark's explosive and at times tumultuous entry into professional basketball?
And that's the worst part of all this, is the new fans are sucking the f***ing life out of the WNBA right now. It's just the truth. You are right. You are right, new fans. There has never been more viewership because of Caitlin Clark. There's never been more attention. They're doing 40 minutes on First Take about Caitlin Clark. They never did that before, as Monica McNutt called out. You're right. But you know what there was in the WNBA last year and the years prior? There was other stories.
Her arrival wasn't just eagerly anticipated by sports fans. It was a cultural precursor to a seismic event. An impending shift felt far beyond the confines of basketball arenas. Transitioning from a collegiate career where she hadn't just broken records, but had fundamentally redefined them, single-handedly drawing millions of entirely new eyes, many of whom had never watched a women's basketball game before, the expectations were stratospheric. And from her very first WNBA game, Caitlin Clark didn't just aim to meet them, she shattered them with an almost casual brilliance. Ticket sales for Indiana Fever games, historically modest, surged to unprecedented levels, often selling out venues. Arenas that previously echoed with empty seats were suddenly packed to the rafters, buzzing with an electric energy not seen in years. Television ratings for her matchups didn't just climb, they skyrocketed, dwarfing typical viewership numbers by orders of magnitude and often outperforming other major sporting events. It became undeniably, starkly clear very quickly. This wasn't just another exceptionally talented player joining the league's ranks. This was a full-blown cultural movement taking hold, a one-woman spectacle that a diverse, newly engaged fan base simply couldn't get enough of. But this unprecedented, almost blinding spotlight was, as it so often is, a fiercely double-edged sword, one that would soon reveal its sharper, more painful side.
Playing in the league appreciate so much the growth and the expansion and all of those things. Undoubtedly they do. You gotta wonder, Gary, at some point if they're going, oh my God, we literally can't talk about anything else. And not talk about anything else like
the raw numbers painted a picture so vivid, so stark in its contrasts, that it was impossible for anyone from casual observers to league executives to ignore. Games featuring Caitlin Clark were consistently drawing viewership figures many times higher, sometimes exponentially so, than other WNBA contests. Her Indiana Fever jersey wasn't just a popular merchandise item, it rapidly became one of the top-selling jerseys across all sports, male or female, a stunning testament to her widespread, almost universal appeal, and a significant, much-needed financial boost to the league's overall revenue. The data was irrefutable, cold, and hard. Caitlin Clark was a singular, uniquely powerful draw, capable of commanding mainstream attention and dominating sports media cycles in a way the league hadn't witnessed in decades, if ever. This immense individual popularity, however, began to create complex ripples throughout the league, and it became increasingly apparent that not everyone within the established WNBA ecosystem was ready, or perhaps willing, to ride this enormous, unexpected wave. The currents of change were strong, and they threatened to pull some under.
Which one went in?
3, 2, 1.
Thank you guys.
Her magnetic appeal extended far beyond the polished hardwood of WNBA arenas. High-profile collaborations, such as a widely publicized and massively viral video with the popular trick shot artist Dude Perfect, showcased her broad mainstream appeal and her innate ability to generate significant online buzz even when not directly competing in a game. This viral reach, effortlessly transcending traditional sports marketing channels, hinted at a unique and potent cultural resonance. She was connecting authentically with a younger, digitally native, and broader audience, proving her influence was multifaceted and unusually powerful. Yet, as her off-court star ascended to dazzling heights, the on-court narrative began to take a more complicated and, at times, visibly unsettling and controversial turn, sparking debates that raged across sports talk shows and social media platforms.
Caitlin Clark, in her decision, I not only respect it, but I wholeheartedly support it. You know, a lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1.
The transition to the unforgiving professional league came with a jarring reality check, often packaged by commentators and some insiders as a welcome to the WNBA moment, though for many fans, it felt far harsher. The style of play directed against Clark became noticeably, sometimes alarmingly, more physical. Specific incidents, like the flagrant foul by Kennedy Carter, which was replayed endlessly and ignited widespread debate about intent and sportsmanship, highlighted the aggressive and, some argued, targeted attention she was receiving from opponents. Was this simply the typical rough-and-tumble initiation rite for a high-profile rookie destined to change the game? Or was there something more pointed, more personal at play? A direct physical response to the unprecedented, almost suffocating spotlight she commanded, and the way she was single-handedly altering league dynamics? The question hung heavy and acrid in the air, fueling a brewing storm of controversy, outrage, and genuine concern among her rapidly growing, fiercely protective fan base.
Since behind the goal. We'll call it the -3. Here we go, Caitlin. Come on. Come on.
That'll work.
Wow!
Adding another intricate and uncomfortable layer to the unfolding drama were the subtle whispers, the coded language in interviews, and the perceived slights emanating from within the league itself, sometimes from fellow players. The narrative began to coalesce that some veteran players, pillars of the WNBA for years, weren't exactly rolling out the celebratory red carpet for the Iowa sensation who had seemingly leapfrogged them in public attention. Whether through carefully worded, passive-aggressive comments during post-game press conferences, or through on-court actions that many fans and analysts interpreted as overly physical, even deliberately intimidating, there was a palpable, almost undeniable feeling that Clark's instant, overwhelming global stardom was ruffling established feathers and challenging the existing pecking order. This undercurrent of barely concealed tension hinted at a significant internal conflict, a difficult struggle to reconcile the league's established hierarchy and its pay-your-dues culture with the sudden, disruptive arrival of a truly transformative paradigm-shifting force. And the league's administration, it seemed, was caught precariously in the middle, trying to appease all sides.
We appreciate it, Caitlin. Every shot you make is one less that I have to do.
You climb the mountain high.
Who needs to see?
Okay?
So you're gonna intentionally miss?
Of course. Goes like this.
Oh.
Time to shine.
All right.
You climb the mountain high.
The WNBA, as an organization, found itself navigating an incredibly delicate, high-stakes tightrope walk. On one hand, they understandably and aggressively promoted Clark, recognizing her as a generational talent capable of bringing unprecedented levels of attention, viewership, and revenue to the entire league. Her image, her name, her story were everywhere. On the other hand, there was a clearly discernible and concerted attempt to also elevate other deserving stars and to showcase the league as a collective entity, a rich constellation of diverse talent rather than a single blinding supernova. It was an extraordinarily challenging balancing act, how to effectively harness the immense, almost uncontrollable power of one individual without inadvertently overshadowing the entire league. Or, more damagingly, alienating other dedicated, talented players who had toiled for years with far less recognition. But as they meticulously tried to manage this complex situation, a decision loomed on the horizon, one that would test this fragile balance like never before and send shockwaves far beyond the world of sports.
Jackie Robinson of the WNBA will be Caitlin Clark. If she stays healthy, there's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like
she's
the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players.
Just as Caitlin Clark mania appeared to be reaching its absolute, undeniable zenith, with her every game becoming a must-see event, every long-range three-pointer a viral clip, every interview parsed and debated, a truly stunning shockwave rippled through the global sports world. The official announcement came, delivered with a cool formality that belied its explosive content. Caitlin Clark would not be a part of Team USA for the Paris 2024 Olympics. For a vast multitude of fans, sports analysts, and even casual observers, the decision was utterly incomprehensible, bordering on negligence. How could the most talked about, most watched, most impactful player in American basketball, someone single-handedly driving incredible, measurable interest in the women's game on an international scale, be left off the prestigious Olympic roster? The timing of the announcement seemed almost perversely designed to ignite a firestorm of criticism and disbelief.
Dude, this might sound crazy. I think I could take Caitlin one-on-one. She is great, but I just feel like I could stop her. I got the length. I could put a hand up.
You can go ask her if she wants to play.
I think I can do it.
Go, Priest!
It's not that she's fast. It's like she's quick. It's like it's the twitch thing, and then like her release is just so pure.
It went about how I thought it was gonna go.
Yeah.
The official explanations from USA Basketball surfaced relatively quickly, citing a strategic focus on selecting experienced players with existing Olympic and international pedigrees, prioritizing established team chemistry, addressing specific defensive needs on the roster, and giving preference to players who had consistently participated in national training camps over the years. But for a vast and vocal segment of the public and the media, these well-reasoned, committee-approved justifications fell jarringly flat, failing to address the perceived larger issue of promoting the game. The backlash was immediate, widespread, and intensely passionate. Accusations flew wildly that USA Basketball and, by extension, influential elements within the WNBA establishment had profoundly fumbled a golden, once-in-a-generation opportunity, not just for Caitlin Clark's career, but for the exponential growth and global visibility of women's basketball on the world's biggest, most influential sporting stage. The decision didn't just spark a spirited debate, it ignited a furious outrage, further complicating the already intricate and often contentious narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark's place and treatment within the sport she was so dramatically reshaping.
What I saw walk into the game is what the media don't see. Thousands of kids.
Wearing what, Gil?
Kids. Huh?
What were they
Caitlin
wearing?
Clark jerseys.
Were they Fever jerseys? Were they Iowa jerseys? Were they
Wherever she played. It was whatever she played.
And that's what was more impressive to me.
It did that. It wasn't just it was Caitlin in the back.
For her style of play.
But her style of play. But it wasn't what we were. It wasn't adults. Right. It was parents bringing their kids and their friends.
Paradoxically, and perhaps predictably, for those who understand the dynamics of modern media and fandom, this highly controversial Olympic snub may have unintentionally, yet powerfully, amplified Caitlin Clark's already colossal story and her burgeoning mainstream appeal even further. The prevailing narrative quickly and decisively shifted to that of the overlooked, perhaps even unfairly maligned star, the people's champion, not fully recognized, or, as some darker whispers suggested, perhaps even intentionally sidelined by an out-of-touch establishment. Instead of diminishing her brilliant light, the Olympic omission seemed to galvanize her legion of supporters, creating an us versus them mentality and casting an even brighter, more intensely critical spotlight on the decision-makers and their rationale. It raised deeply uncomfortable questions about whether the powers that be truly grasped the sheer magnitude of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, or the potential long-term repercussions of their seemingly short-sighted choices.
I was going to call this one the Butler long ball, but Caitlin came up with a better name. Tell them.
The Hinkle Heave.
The Hinkle Heave. Here we go.
Yes!
Bang! Let's go!
The enduring shadow of these tumultuous early career dramas, the on-court altercations, and the landmark decisions like the Olympic exclusion now lingers significantly over the WNBA. The league faces a battery of pressing existential questions. Are they genuinely and effectively maximizing the extraordinary potential of this once-in-a-generation talent? Or are they, through action or inaction, inadvertently creating rifts, fostering resentment, and risking the alienation of the massive influx of new, enthusiastic fans drawn into their orbit almost exclusively by the gravitational pull of Caitlin Clark? The ongoing, often heated debate about her treatment by officials and opponents, her perceived need for greater protection on the court, and her undeniable, if sometimes unacknowledged, role as the de facto face of the league, whether officially sanctioned or popularly declared, continues to simmer, threatening to boil over. The league's handling of its biggest, most visible asset is under an intense, unblinking microscope, and every single move, every statement, every non-statement is magnified and scrutinized. Caitlin Clark's WNBA chapter is still very much being written, its initial pages already filled with an astonishing array of record-breaking performances, instantly iconic viral moments, and absolutely no shortage of compelling headline-grabbing controversy. Her impact, even at this nascent stage of her professional career, is already undeniable, bordering on legendary. The WNBA, as a league and as a business, finds itself at a critical, potentially defining crossroads. Forced to reckon with a truly transformative, disruptive force it perhaps didn't fully anticipate, or at the very least, wasn't entirely prepared to manage with the requisite agility and foresight. The path forward is laden with both immense opportunity and significant peril. One thing, however, is crystal clear. The league must decisively determine how it will navigate the complexities and the immense potential of the Caitlin Clark era, and whether it will fully, unequivocally embrace the profound and at times admittedly disruptive change she so powerfully represents. The game, its rapidly expanding audience, and indeed the future of women's professional basketball are all watching with bated breath.